in our headlines on this Monday, July 21st, here in South Korea. At least 18 people have been killed and 9 others remain missing after the torrential rain nationwide, and President Lee Jin-sook has called for swift designation of affected areas as special disaster zones. And applications for the so-called consumption coupons kicked off on this Monday. All Korean citizens are eligible for these coupons, as are some non-Korean residents here in the country. Meanwhile, Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba's ruling coalition lost its majority at the upper house in a parliamentary election this past Sunday. We have more on the implications of this election result. We start with the death toll from the torrential rain here in South Korea that triggered frightening flash floods and lethal landslides. Lee Seung-jae has our top story.
18 people have been killed and 9 others are missing after heavy rain across South Korea beginning last week and subsequent flooding and landslides. The latest figures were announced by the Ministry of the Interior and Safety and the National Fire Agency on Monday, with the southern county of Sancheong seeing the largest number of victims with 10 dead and 4 missing. Firefighting officials say rescue operations are still underway there. Torrential downpours have slammed the country since Wednesday, with Sancheong receiving an accumulated 793.5 millimeters of rain as of 5 p.m. Sunday. The other deaths occurred in Osan and Gapyeong in Gyeonggi-do Province, Seosan and Dangjin, Chungcheongnam-do Province, and the southwestern city of Gwangju. Since last week, authorities have reported 1,999 cases of flooded roads, soil loss, and destroyed public facilities, with 2,238 other cases of damage to private property. Over 14,000 people have been taken to shelters across 15 major cities and provinces, while 62 flights were canceled. In response to the nationwide damage, President Lee Jae-myung on Sunday instructed the government to find ways to swiftly designate the areas that were hit hardest as special disaster zones. Areas designated as special disaster zones are entitled to government support for damage recovery and victim relief. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.
Meanwhile, the South Korean army has deployed its ground forces and equipment to assist recovery efforts in rain-ravaged regions. More than 1,000 troops and over 20 pieces of heavy equipment were mobilized in Gwangju Metropolitan City, Chungcheongnam-do Province and Gyeongsang-nam-do Province on this Monday. Starting last Thursday, a total of 2,500 soldiers have been deployed in areas hit hard by the torrential rain. Their current work involves clearing debris from roads and homes and organizing essential supplies. Also on the local front, applications for the so-called consumption coupons kicked off on this Monday. All Korean citizens are eligible for these coupons, as are some non-Korean residents here in the country. Park Chuhan reports.
Registrations for the Livelihood Recovery Consumption Coupon, the first major economic stimulus under the Lee Jae-myung administration, started from 9 a.m. Monday. The Ministry of the Interior and Safety announced that the applications will be open for approximately 8 weeks, until 6 p.m. on September 12th. The coupon program provides 150,000 Korean won, roughly $108 per recipient, with higher amounts for certain groups. 300,000 won will be given to low-income households and single-parent families, and 400,000 won for recipients of the basic livelihood subsidy. Residents from areas outside of Seoul, Incheon, and Gyeonggi-do Province will receive an additional 30,000 won, while those living in one of the 84 designated rural areas at risk of depopulation will get an extra 50,000 won. People will receive coupons the day after application, and the coupons are valid until November 30th. The ministry says no coupons will be issued after the September 12th deadline, and those who don't apply will not receive any benefits. People can apply online through their bank or credit card sites or through local payment apps such as Seoul Pay Plus. They can also apply offline at their local government neighborhood office. Online registrations are available through either mobile devices or computers. To prevent system overload and congestion, the first week from Monday through Friday will follow a day-of-the-week system based on the last digit of the applicant's birth year, 1 or 6 on Monday, 2 or 7 on Tuesday, and so on. Weekend applications are only available online. Applicants can choose to receive coupons as credit debit cards, prepaid cards, or a community-based gift certificate which can only be used at registered merchants in the applicant's municipality. Coupons can only be used at small businesses with annual sales of 3 billion won or less. They are not valid at places such as large supermarkets, department stores, duty-free shops, and online malls. Foreign residents who fall under certain categories can also receive the coupons. The eligible groups are permanent residents, marriage migrants, recognized refugees, those who are listed on a resident registration document that includes at least one Korean citizen. To be eligible, they must be enrolled in the national health insurance system, either as a subscriber, dependent, or recipient. The government says the livelihood coupon should stimulate consumption and boost the local economy. Park Junan, Arirang News.
And in light of that optimistic outlook by the government, our correspondent Moon Ji-young was out in the streets of Seoul to gauge the public response to efforts to encourage consumption. Do take a listen.
Immense public interest was evident on the first day of applications for the livelihood recovery consumption coupons. Older members of society were seen lining up in front of community centers to apply, while the widespread enthusiasm also led to some credit card website servers crashing.
I'm here at a local market in southern Seoul. The coupons can be used at small businesses like these.
Many have said that they will be using the coupons to pay for daily necessities.
Once I get this cash handout, I can definitely cut down on what I spend on food. So I think it'll really lighten the load, at least for a bit.
You see, I've got 3 kids, and honestly, their academy fees cost more than I thought they would. Since it isn't exactly cheap, I really want to put this towards my kids' education expenses.
On the small business front, owners are holding on to the hope that the consumption coupons will give the economy at least a temporary lift.
I think it'll be easier for people who might have eaten less meat because it's pricey now. We expect this to create a virtuous cycle for the entire livestock industry. And if our sales increase significantly, allowing us to pay more in taxes, I believe that would be beneficial for everyone.
I guess with these livelihood coupons, consumer spending will pick up for a little while, but it won't last long, so the market will probably only be active for a bit. And once these coupons are all used up, I'm worried the economy might drop again.
Experts expect the coupons to boost consumption. However, they also point out that they are a stimulus measure rather than an economic growth strategy.
When looking at different income levels, for high-income earners and upper-middle-income earners, the issuance of these consumption coupons is more likely to result in an increase in excess savings rather than driving additional consumption. Conversely, for lower-middle-income earners and below, we believe these consumption coupons will clearly and directly translate into consumption.
Meanwhile, the government plans to meticulously work with local governments to ensure that not a single citizen misses out on receiving them. Moon Ji-young, Arirang News.
In other news, the president's first cabinet is taking tangible shape with a number of his nominees confirmed, but one name withdrawn over the weekend. Our presidential office correspondent Song Yoo-jin has the latest.
South Korean President Lee Jae-myung is building his first cabinet, but not without a few bumps along the way. On Sunday, President Lee withdrew his nomination of Lee Jin-sook, the former president of Chungnam National University, as education minister.
President Lee has been carefully weighing up his decision, listening to a wide range of opinions. On Saturday, he met with Kim Byung-gi, floor leader of the ruling Democratic Party, and Song Eun-sok, interim leader and floor leader of the main opposition People Power Party, to hear their views as well.
The nominee had come under fire following allegations of plagiarism in her academic work and controversy over sending her daughter abroad alone to study while still a middle school student, which is illegal under Korean law. Woo added that the government will search for a new candidate to lead the education ministry. However, the president is standing by his pick for the Minister of Gender Equality and Family, Democratic Party lawmaker Kang Seon-woo, who's also facing backlash over allegedly mistreating her aides.
After thoroughly reviewing the issues raised, Kang's explanation and opinions shared through various channels, the president has made his final decision.
President Lee has filled 7 of the 19 minister posts in his first cabinet so far, 6 new faces and 1 holdover, retaining Agriculture Minister Song Mi-ryong. More appointments could follow this week as confirmation hearings have been completed for all but the Culture and Land Ministries. In South Korea, minister nominees must go through parliamentary confirmation hearings, though it's the president who makes the final decision. 송유진, Arirang News.
Newly appointed Foreign Minister Cho Hyun has reaffirmed the importance of the Lee Jae-myung administration's pragmatic diplomacy centered on national interests, especially in light of the rapid changes in geopolitics. Speaking at his inauguration ceremony earlier on this Monday, the top diplomat also asserted that establishing peace on the Korean Peninsula is the top priority under the current climate of uncertainty and tension. And to this end, he spoke of seeking dialogue with Pyongyang in close coordination with Washington. He also underscored the importance of seeking broader diplomatic relations with global counterparts amid the rivalry between the US and China. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba's ruling coalition has lost its majority at the upper house in a parliamentary election this past Sunday. Our Cho Hyun covers this result and its broader implications.
Japan's ruling coalition has failed to secure a majority in the upper house. In the election on Sunday, the ruling coalition, comprised of the Liberal Democratic Party and its partner Komeito, lost its majority, gaining only 47 seats. To keep the majority, the ruling coalition parties needed to win at least 50 seats, adding to the 75 they already held. But the LDP won just 39 and Komeito got 8, falling short of the target. Currently, Japan's House of Councillors has 248 members, each serving a 6-year term. Every 3 years, half of the seats are up for election, and this year, 125 seats were voted on, including 1 vacant seat in Tokyo. As a result, the ruling camp now holds 122 seats, while the opposition claimed 126, taking over the upper house. Following last year's major defeat in the House of Representatives election, the Liberal Democratic Party has lost ground again. This is the first time since the party was founded in 1955 that the LDP-led government has failed to hold a majority in both the lower and upper houses. Taking its place is the rising Democratic Party for the People, which advocates a moderate line and gained strong support, winning 17 seats. The party earned votes with appeals to ordinary people, such as raising take-home pay and lowering insurance costs for young people. The right-leaning Sanseito won 14 seats by promoting a Japanese-first policy, including restrictions on foreign land ownership in Japan, despite criticism for discriminating against foreigners. Voter turnout was 58.52%, rising more than 6 percentage points compared to 3 years ago. Regardless of the election results, experts say bilateral cooperation between South Korea and Japan will remain positive, especially on external threats.
We need to deal with this non-conventional, new emerging threat as well. And of course, challenges from China, technologically, economically, and even politically, is not simple at all. So having had all this, conflicts and threats and challenges surrounding us, I think, again, the bilateral relationship will remain pretty much, again, the cooperative.
Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba is now expected to come under pressure to resign after the consecutive defeats. However, right after exit polls, he stated that he would fulfill his responsibility as the leader of the largest party, showing his determination to remain in office. Cho Hyun, Arirang News.
In the Middle East, dozens of Palestinians were shot dead in Gaza while seeking much-needed food aid. Our Park Hyo-bin covers this tragic event.
Last Sunday marked one of the deadliest days for Gazans seeking humanitarian aid as, according to Al Jazeera, at least 92 Palestinians were killed by Israeli gunfire across the Gaza Strip. It was one of the highest death tolls reported in a string of recent incidents where civilians were killed while trying to access food and aid. The shootings came as Israel's ongoing siege deepened Gaza's hunger crisis, with health officials reporting at least 19 deaths from starvation over the past day.
We were just going to get food for our children. We were not going to beg or fight. We just wanted to eat.
Now, Al-Shifa Hospital is full of martyrs and the wounded. The situation is catastrophic. We can no longer handle the influx of injuries, so we have started directing patients to other field hospitals.
The Israeli military acknowledged the incident, saying troops had fired wording shots to remove an immediate threat posed to the forces, but did not provide specific evidence. Hamas expressed outrage over the incident, warning that the growing humanitarian catastrophe could derail the ongoing ceasefire talks in Qatar. Meanwhile, the Israeli military has expanded its ground operations in central and northern Gaza. Residents in Deir al-Balah said Israeli planes dropped leaflets ordering evacuations and later bombed 3 homes in the area. It marks the first time such an evacuation order has been issued for the area since the war began. The city was believed to be a potential location where hostages were being held, and Israel had avoided launching attacks due to concerns Hamas might execute them. But with ceasefire talks between the two groups in Doha once again stalled, Israel now appears to be ramping up military pressure on Hamas by expanding its ground operations. Park Hyubin, Arirang News.
Back on the local front, Jeju Island's greenhouse cultivation of citrus fruits, including the mandarin, is pledging another season of sweet oranges despite the sweltering heat. Cho Hyun has details.
The mandarin orange harvest is in full swing under vinyl greenhouses on Jeju Island. The oranges are yellow-colored when daily temperature differences are large. That is why those from greenhouses mostly look green, especially in summer with lower temperature differences. Although the color is not a perfect yellow, the orange's sugar content and quality are excellent. The abnormal weather the island has experienced this year has, however, delayed the harvesting season. Production is projected to be 26,000 tons, which is 1.6% less than last year. However, the price is similar to last year, 25,000 Korean won, around $18.4 for a 3-kilogram box. The farmers expect consumers to buy more of the produce.
Since we did our best to harvest the oranges, we hope that more consumers buy them.
The sugar content of oranges from greenhouses this year is higher than usual at 10 to 12 bricks. Their high vitamin C content will help consumers overcome fatigue and maintain a healthy immune system. The National Agricultural Cooperative Federation stresses that it harvests fresh and high-quality oranges only.
We harvest fresh oranges only and ship them within 2 to 3 days. So our consumers should not worry about their quality at all.
The NACF and farmers expect consumers will enjoy more oranges from Jeju Island this summer. Cha Hyun, Arirang News.
And now, ArirangTV, South Korea's only English-language broadcasting channel, is partnering with LG Uplus to expand its global platform. ArirangTV's content will be available in North America through LG Channels, a free ad-supported streaming TV service operated by Korean mobile carrier LG Uplus. Now, this particular service, a first for ArirangTV in North America, will start on Friday, that is July 25th. As LG Channels continues to expand, Arirang hopes to make its content available in more countries. LG Uplus will use AI technology to add multilingual subtitles and dubbing to Arirang's content. The two entities will also work to expand satellite broadcasting across Latin America and Africa.
This is The World Now, bringing you the latest stories from around the globe. In Vietnam, a tourist boat capsized in Halong Bay on Saturday, leading to at least 38 deaths. The Wonder Sea, carrying 53 people, mostly Vietnamese families from Hanoi, capsized around 2 p.m. local time after encountering sudden fierce winds, heavy rain, and lightning. 10 people were rescued, including a 14-year-old boy who was pulled out from the hull 4 hours after the capsize. 5 people are still missing and search and rescue efforts are still underway. The storm came on so quickly that passengers had little time to react, even though life vests were available. In the United States, 30 people were injured, 7 critically, when a vehicle drove into a crowd outside a music venue in East Hollywood, Los Angeles, in the early hours of Saturday. The driver, identified as 29-year-old Fernando Ramirez, was reportedly kicked out of the nightclub minutes before he drove his car into the crowd. Surveillance footage shows him mounting the sidewalk around 2 a.m., first hitting a taco stand, then a valet podium, and finally the waiting crowd. Ramirez was dragged from the wrecked vehicle, assaulted, and shot before being hospitalized. Authorities found no evidence indicating that the incident was linked to terrorism or driven by any criminal intentions beyond the driver's intoxicated state. Police are also searching for the man who shot Ramirez and fled the scene. On Sunday, a 7.4 magnitude earthquake struck 144 kilometers east of Russia's Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky city. The tremors triggered tsunami alerts, which were later lifted. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center and U.S. National Tsunami Center issued coastal warnings for Kamchatka, Hawaii, Guam, and American Samoa. Roughly 2 hours later, all alerts were officially downgraded and lifted. There have been no reports of casualties or structural damage, and seismic activity has subsided. Authorities warn that the Kamchatka Peninsula remains a high-risk seismic zone. Tech company Astronomer Inc.'s CEO Andy Byron resigned on Saturday after a video surfaced showing him embracing his chief people officer during a Coldplay concert. The incident took place on Wednesday when Byron and Kristen Cabot appeared on the Kiss Cam, prompting reactions from Coldplay's Chris Martin, who joked, saying either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. The footage went viral on social media platforms, drawing scrutiny for their conduct, particularly given that both are married. The company announced Byron's resignation from the CEO role, and Cabot was also reportedly suspended. Choi Ji-hee, Arirang News.
The heat wave came back immediately after the heavy rain. From now on, you need to prepare for the steaming heat again. With heat wave warnings and advisories in effect across the country, scorching heat of around 33 degrees Celsius will continue during the day tomorrow. With high humidity, the temperatures will feel as high as nearly 36 degrees. As the atmosphere is unstable, showers have been falling across the country. There will be up to 80 millimeters of rain from showers in the Jeollado provinces and western parts of Gyeongsangnam-do province, and 5 to 60 millimeters in other areas by tonight. Tomorrow morning will start warm at 23 to 26 degrees all over the country. Daily highs move up to 31 degrees in Seoul and Busan, 32 degrees in Jeju. There will be lots of showers along the heat for the time being. That's all for Korea. Here are the weather conditions around the world.
Right, those are the headlines at this hour here in South Korea. As always, thank you for watching.